Hi, my name's Lucien Henderson, and this is my take on the Durham District School Board meeting. What I noticed about the board meeting right away was that there were a number of people in position of power seated throughout the room. Additionally, there was no formal presentation of their specific roles. As this was the last meeting of the year, as it was my understanding, the first portion of the meeting involved a school band performing for everybody. After the band finished, the chairman, who controls the pace of the meeting, spoke about and presented the chairman's scholarship, which was received by the committee's own student trustee. The director of education was also involved in presenting this award with the chairman. I also noticed that they spent quite a bit of time recognizing and thanking the student trustees, and then proceeded to welcome the following year's cohort of student trustees. Lastly, the chairman acknowledged the overall contributions of all the trustees, students, and adults alike for their hard work and dedication throughout the year. Once all the awards and presentations were complete, I noticed the room had emptied quite a bit due to everyone who had received awards leaving shortly after. At this time, the chairman methodically attempted to work through the day's agenda by first hearing from the Student Senate a presentation titled Principal's Voice that focused on providing a recap of the year's successes and challenges, followed by the progression of the equity initiatives at Terry Fox Public School, which was presented by two principals, a mother and father, and their children, who had launched a mentorship program that focused on improving and shortening the divide between white and black student academic achievements. The chairman and committee were very proud of the achievements throughout the year, and they quite enjoyed the personal stories shared by each student's speech. The youngest student of them all actually recorded a video himself of him using the technology and sharing how it has personally improved his school life and performance and why. The last presentation I was able to listen to prior to being released for recess was a presentation on a pilot program presented by the trustee ad hoc committee, which spoke on the issue of violence in schools and their pilot to provide intensive support programs throughout the board. From what I could see from the experience I had while attending this meeting, the board trustees were only allowed to speak when the chairman allowed them to speak. Additionally, it appeared that although they were allowed to provide input on certain topics and the progression of these topics, certain trustees have no true authority, if not all trustees. But they work together through joint decision-making to focus on values, priorities, necessary changes, and expectations with the goal of creating some sort of policy moving forward. Lastly, trustees are all part of the board, but each individual trustee needs to act on behalf of their designated constituent. All board meetings are open to the public, and it was not made obvious that there were any delegates at the meeting. Board meetings are also held to ensure changes, and the right changes at that, are being made for the best interest of the public and the students in their schools. To continue on with trustees, yes, they are integral to the functionality of the school district. They bring a public eye and interest into the mix and advocate for specific constituents. School board trustees are the members of their respective district school boards. They serve as locally elected representatives of the public, and they are the community's advocate for public education. Also, trustees must communicate the views and decisions of the board back to their respective constituents. Just to note, one thing that I really wish the meeting touched on more was Regulation 274, as it has been a lingering concern for supply teachers currently in the field and teachers like myself who are about to feel the struggles and hardships of the supply list due to rules outlined in Regulation 274. I would have really enjoyed hearing other points of view on the issue and how they plan on correcting some of the major concerns. In summary, it was the last board meeting of the year, and an hour of the meeting was taken up with presentations alone. I had to leave the board meeting after a little over 2 hours into it. And based on my experience and additional research, these are my takes on the roles and responsibilities within a board meeting. Thanks for listening.